My name is George Alvarez. I'm the CEO of ChinaTel Group. We provide broadband services in China to 29 cities, and that function is one that we've been working on for the past 2 years. We're deploying a next-generation broadband wireless network at the 4G level, in essence providing voice, video, data services, internet connectivity to the population in those 29 cities. Our first relationship with them was assisting them in the actual engineering and deployment of their wireless networks as architects and engineers. We then took that relationship and negotiated equity positions that allowed us to be a 49% holder today. If you look at the overall market, China has the largest population base associated with wireless users or cell phone users. China Mobile is the largest operator in the world. China Unicom is also one of the largest operators in the world. So when you look at the combined individuals or population base that uses wireless, it's north of 750 million people. Of those 750 million people that are connected wirelessly or utilize modern technology, let's say, about 17% of them are connected to the internet. So the current mandate by the Chinese government is to increase that number from 17% to 55%. Well, obviously, you're not going to lay fiber or copper or cable to connect that many people over the next 5 years, so the only solution is a wireless solution. Therefore, China instituted a new Telecommunication Act in 2008 that facilitates that, and we're reaping the benefits of that last mile connectivity through our relationship with ChinaCom. ChinaCom was mandated to provide broadband connectivity for the Olympics. Obviously, 8808 was China's coming out party to the rest of the world. You had millions of people coming into the city. They all had wireless devices. Most of those wireless devices had Wi-Fi capabilities. So connecting those foreigners to local networks via Wi-Fi was the mandate so that they could be connected and communicate back, obviously, with their home countries. So ChinaCom was given that mandate, and we assisted them in rolling out those networks, and it was a huge success. It was called the Beijing Wireless City, and it was done in time. The first 12 cities will be complete geographically by 2011. The balance 17 cities will be fully deployed by 2013. If you go on the website, you'll see our legal model with regard to doing business in China. You have what are allowed in China now, which is wholly owned foreign enterprises. Through those wholly owned foreign enterprises, you then have offshore companies, offshore of China, not offshore here of America, in Hong Kong that establish the foundation to the holding company here in America, which is a public company. So the in China wholly owned foreign enterprise going to Hong Kong, coming here to America is established to give us the protections within China with regard to how our capital is spent, and more importantly, how revenues are recognized. ChinaTel has 49% ownership of ChinaCom, which is comprised of multiple government-owned companies. There's actually 3 major shareholders of ChinaCom, all government-owned. 49% is the maximum allowed by the government in this space. So telecommunications is a restricted space in China that has been opened up to foreign ownership per the WTO or the World Trade Organization mandates when China entered that organization in 2011. So we're right in line with those mandates. We felt that their growth potential was was attractive for us. We obtained wireless spectrum rights there in that country. My previous working relationships established a foundation for building wireless networks in those areas, and we felt the growth in accomplishing our goals to become a worldwide broadband operator, not just a Chinese operator. We felt that South America was another location where we can expand our knowledge of wireless deployments, obtain spectrum and frequencies in various countries. Peru just happens to be the first one, and then expand our broadband carrier base also in Latin America and in Eastern Europe is the direction that we're going. We've been in, when I say we, the team at ChinaTel, the different technical team that we have at the company, has been in telecommunications since 1987. Our foundation is architectural and engineering services, specializing in wireless deployments. So when you look at worldwide, we've deployed as a team, we being the team members of ChinaTel, over 140 networks for every carrier you can think of on this planet, with regard to architecture and engineering of these networks, and actually even the physical construction of these networks. So to take that as a foundation was quite simple, because we still do the work associated with deploying the networks. We just happen to be the carrier or the owner of the car, so to speak. Before, we would build the car and then hand the keys to the owner. Now we're building the car and maintaining ownership of the keys. Mario Alvarez, my brother, is the Chief Operating Officer. He's a registered architect in just about every state in America, plus other countries. He's the team leader for deployment, and with him there are approximately 200 individuals, professionals that have been with us for a long time in country, not just expats, that all have various telecommunication expertise, whether it be architecture or radio frequency engineering or switch engineering or network engineering associated with IT or databases or fiber. Those are a plethora of expertise that we have in-house. They all work for the company. Those engineering and architectural services we provide as a turnkey solution. What we primarily sub out or subcontract are the actual installations, the guys that hook up the electrical, the guys that install the equipment or establish a monopole or an antenna someplace. Those functions are local contractors, but the engineering is all done in-house. CFO Carlos Trujillo is our Chief Financial Officer, and he has his team of controllers, and obviously he manages the audited process with the company. The company does have SEC auditors that provide our quarterly audits and our yearly audits. I think the next question will probably be our legal team. Our legal team, we have SEC counsel, actually here out of New York, Fulbright and Jaworski is our SEC consultants and attorneys of record. But then we also have in-house counsel that assist in preparing most of the documentation for their review. So we like in-house financial people, and we like in-house counsel, and then we have in-house counsel in China, obviously. That's very important also, and in-house financial controls in China and also in America. Obviously, ChinaTel, our foundation, as described earlier, is architectural and engineering know-how. Building, deploying, engineering wireless networks is what we do. That's what we've been doing since 1987. The team members of ChinaTel, those individuals I described earlier. So when you look at that foundation, we charge for those services. And even though it's our joint venture partner, the joint venture still has to pay somebody to provide those services. So our revenue sources are comprised of supplying those services to our joint venture partner, Obviously, we are very methodical on how we provide those services because we also have the other hat where we want to limit our capital expenditures and also deploy those networks cost effectively that generate revenues, which is our second revenue source as a company, where we can recognize a percentage of those as part of our joint venture through the ownership structure that we have with ChinaCom. So you have the revenue sources, to recap, associated with deploying or providing those services, and then you will reap the benefits of being a 49% stockholder of a company that generates those revenues once you complete the deployment. Our models are based around an $8 US dollar average revenue per user. But, you know, times are changing. Applications, content drives those average revenues up. So I believe China Mobile is probably north of $12 to $15, around that range. I don't know what their financials look like, but if I were to venture a guess, that's what it would be. Our models are very simple. It's an average of internet connectivity of about $8, depending on usage. The more you use, you'll pay a little more to get voice, video, and data. So I would say the average would be anywhere from $8 to $20. If you want a DSL line, for instance, from China Telecom to your home, just a basic connection, it runs about $20 a month, just for a basic internet connection 101. My goal for ChinaTel and ChinaCom is primarily ChinaTel, because ChinaCom is an asset of ChinaTel, and I plan on having more of those types of assets, carrier-grade assets for ChinaTel. So the reasons why individuals should look at ChinaTel very closely is we're actually implementing a broadband network in multiple countries, and our intent is to be the largest broadband carrier in the world. So when you look at the potential upside, as we've disclosed in our pro formas, as to where the stock is today, the value-added proposition is extremely attractive to investors. My job is to tell the story and let people know what we are doing as a company. Their job in analyzing that data and looking at the potential upside in those markets, I think, will attract them to our stock above any other stock.